We have month in review, and this is for October 2024. So this month, our theme has focused around dressing in layers. And to review this theme, we highlight the asana practices, the theme itself, and the intentions all around dressing in layers, body, mind, and spirit. Today, in our warming and warming to energize segment, we will review layers of body. In our energizing segment, we will review layers of mind. And during our finishing well segment, we will review layers of spirit. Your yoga invitation for today is to be aware that you choose the layers that you are wearing today. Dress loosely or dress tightly, dress casually, dress formally, but appreciate your layers. Namaste. We'll gift ourselves these next few moments and come into some centering stillness. As you begin to fully arrive on your mat, I welcome you to today's yoga class. Each of us has created our sacred space where we come together to explore, cultivate, and discover a stronger connection between ourself and all things around us. Receive another deep, full breath. Hold that breath and feel the fullness of your life's energy. And as you release that breath, notice the emptying, the letting go, only to make room for that next full, deep breath. And we'll begin to invite some warming practices today as we review the dressing in layers with bodily awareness. If your eyes are closed, please open your eyes. Let the arms begin to reach out towards the wingspan level and then draw them forward. We'll bend our left elbow, bring it underneath the right arm, lift the right arm just shoulder height, and then very gently let that left arm just bring the right arm over to the left. You can follow with breath with each movement. You can just allow the movement to flow in its own rhythm. Just to notice some upper back, shoulder movement. One more breath with this side. And then we'll all come back into that center. As you begin to release the arms away from each other, begin to rise them up overhead, interlacing fingers overhead, spinning the palms upwards, lifting through the palms of the hands. Let's release this breath and slowly reach over to the right. Receive the next breath, rise to center. Release the breath, slowly reach over to your left. As we all come back into our center together, we turn our palms down, fingers separate, arms reopen, and the right arm comes down to the mat. Left arm continues to reach high, high, high above. When you release this breath, begin to release over to the right side. You might walk the right fingertips away from the body. You might turn your head and gaze towards the left side. But notice that your bodily awareness, you're having your sit bones grounding, your shoulders releasing, your breath deepening, and you're choosing the layers that are appropriate for your physical body. It's your welfare. Everybody together, big breath in, come back up into that center. As the left arm comes down, the right arm slowly lifts up. Circle the arms back to center again. Bend the right elbow, sweep it underneath the left arm. A little lifting here, release the breath. Now let the left arm guide the right arm, guide the left arm over to the right. Just keep breathing as you move. Notice when a layer of bodily movement isn't serving you. Pause, reflect, cultivate what you can wear that will be appropriate. And one more breath. And let's all come back into that center together. Slowly release the arms. Begin to reach the arms up high above you. Again, interlace fingers, palms spin up. Lift through those palms, release the breath, and then we're going to reach over to the left side. Let's receive a deepened breath. Rise to your center. Begin releasing the breath over to the right side. Here we go. And we'll all come back up into that center. Palms turn down. Fingers slide apart. Bring the left arm down. Reach the right arm up high. Release the breath. Now let the left fingers start walking away from your body. Keeping the sit bones grounded, the breath deepening. Remember today it's all about choosing the layers that serve you. During this segment we're focusing just on body. So alignment, breath connection, important. We'll rise back up into that center. Lift up of the left arm. Open both arms to your sun god. Now let's see if we can lift up through the heart center. So the shoulder blades are going to slide down. They're going to hug in towards the spine. Front body opens. And then gently bring the fingertips down to the mat. Let's go into Dandasana. Transition into your Dandasana. Little bouncing behind the knees, a little lifting of the torso. And then very gently, we're going to do a little hip opening now. So let's start to bring the left knee Bend it and draw the left heel in towards the left sit bone. And then you're going to cradle the baby here, or rock the baby. So you might just hold on to the outer left foot with the right hand and just let it kind of cradle from side to side. You might start to bring the inner right elbow to the outer edge of your left foot, and maybe interlace the fingers and cradle. When we choose the layers that serve our body, we're practicing yoga. It's not just exercise. It's just not something to do. We're connecting. One more cradle here. And everybody is back to center. Slowly, softly release the left hand, right hand. Reach out the left leg back to Dandasana. Notice how your torso just begins to automatically lift a little when you come back into full Dandasana. Your bodily welfare has taught you well with your yoga skills. Next breath, let's bend the right knee. Draw the right heel in towards the right sit bone. Cradle this leg here on this side. And it might be different than the other side. And that's very well and fine. Just to let that leg cradle or rock from side to side. Please keep the spine lengthening, shoulders releasing. How about one more deep breath with your cradle? Back into the center, softly and slowly, releasing of the leg, releasing of the hands, releasing of the arms. Dandasana. Receive a breath, reach the shoulders down into those back pockets. Release the breath. We're going to forward fold. So very gently, just let your hands start to slide on the outer edges of your legs as you focus on the hip hinging action. So the spine stays long. It's like the heart is moving towards the thighs. You want to bend the knees, bring a little block or a pillow under them, do that. Choosing your layers. And then we'll just gently and slowly release our head. And then we'll take our hands and just gently hold the outside of the legs, the ankles, the outer edges of the feet, wherever it's right for us. And we'll do a couple more deep breaths as we surrender into this fold. Next receiving breath, we'll rise together. We begin to lift gently through the head. The hands start to slide back up the outer edges of our legs as the torso lifts away from your thighs. And when you found your body back into that center with Dandasana, just one breath to notice the sensations. And then we'll transition to tabletop. In our tabletop today, we'll go through this little flow of a spinal wave with the leg extended, creating a little more sensations so we can choose the layers that are really going to be well for our bodily welfare today. Tabletop, hands below, wrists below shoulders, knees stacked right underneath those hips. Let's bring the tops of the feet down to begin this practice. Find your neutral tabletop. Let's receive a breath. And as we release a breath, go into a downward wave. Tailbone tucks down, head bows down, and just reach back a little bit towards child. We'll just warm a little bit here, and then we'll flow into the next segment. Rise back up into tabletop, neutral position first. And then slowly begin to lift into upward wave. Tailbone, crown of the head, lift up. Release the breath. Downward wave to child's pose. Breath. Let your body move or flow back through neutral tabletop to the upward wave, and we'll do one more. And when you begin the downward wave, child's pose. So just notice, does this practice allow your body a feeling or a sensation of lightness? Would there be any layer to add or remove through the neutral? Let's pause in our neutral position. Receive your next breath. Hover the left knee, extend the left leg way out to the long edge of your mat. Just as far away as you can as it supports strongly into your floor. And then release the breath, downward wave. There you go now. When you receive a breath, upward wave. If you notice a sensation of discomfort in the knee or something, bring in a little extra padding, a blanket, pillow. Downward wave, one more flow, please. Into your upward wave. Both arms supporting you equally. When you're back into the neutral position, we'll let the shoulders have another nice stretch. Pick up your right hand. Thread the needle. Bring the right hand and arm behind the left arm. Thread it through. Come down to the right shoulder, down to the right side of your face. Maybe with your left arm, you extend it forward. Maybe you bring that left arm around the back of your body. One more breath. Just notice if there's anything you need to add or remove. And then rise up. Press the left palm right underneath that left shoulder. Lift the torso away. Rethread the right arm all the way back through. Plant it down. Yogi's choice. Bring your body back into tabletop. Receive your next breath. Hover the right knee. Extend the right leg way out to the right side of your mat. Receive a breath. Get back in alignment. Release the breath. Downward wave. Receive to the upward wave. And one more time, please. Checking in with your sensations. It's always your choice. You can add anything bodily to it, or you can remove anything. And when we're all back into the center, we're going to hover the left hand and arm, thread the needle. Bring that left arm behind the right arm. Start to thread it through. Left shoulder, left side of the face, slowly coming down towards the mat. Are you bending the right elbow? Are you extending the right arm? Did you bring the right arm to the back body? Just always checking in. One more nice deep breath. And let's all come back up together. Plant that right palm under the right shoulder. Lift the torso. Rethread the left arm back through. Plant it down. Yogi's choice. Return back to your tabletop. Next breath, we receive and we get to bring that left leg forward to low lunge. So you bring your left leg forward. You get into this perfect alignment. Let's bring the top of the foot back down again onto the mat in case you got your toes curled. And here we go. We're going to reach the arms back to airplane now. Palms facing each other or palms turning up. Release the breath. Arms release down. We're going to reach the arms forward as we lift the torso. And then we're going to open those arms to our sun goddess. So let the front body open, expand. Let the lower body strengthen and support. With the next releasing breath, bring your body back to center if it's leaning back. Palms return down to the mat, framing that left foot. Lift the heart and just wiggle the fingers so you know you've got this whole body skill in place. That's a layer you always want to have on, kind of a base layer in yoga, alignment. As you release the next breath, just stretch back through Divine Half Monkey. Just let the hips stretch back a little bit. Just go where it's right for you. And then return to your low lunge. And come back into the tabletop. Next breath, hover the right knee. Bring that right leg forward to your low lunge. Alignment, breath. Then let's move again. Receive a breath. Arms into airplane. There you go. Feel the fullness of the practice. Release. As the arms release down, they begin to reach forward. As they reach forward, the torso lifts. As the torso lifts, the elbows begin to bend. And you begin to create your sun goddess arms. And you reach back, opening through your front body. One more breath. And as we release the breath together, palms come back down to the mat. Receive a breath. Release a breath, Divine Half Monkey. Just let your right leg stretch out a little bit as the hips reach back. Just kind of a modification of the full practice, just to feel the stretch. Remember, we all dress differently. Come back into your low lunge. We all address our yoga differently. And back to tabletop. Everyone, receive the next breath. Now we'll tuck the toes under. Now we'll reach the hips back towards the heels. We're going to move into downward dog. Receive the breath. Hover both knees. Start to lift the hips. Lift, lift. And walk your dog. Do what's right for you. And with the very next breath, we're going to transition to plank. So you might want to step the feet back just a little bit further. And then shift the body forward. Lower the hips in line with the shoulders. Receive a breath. Downward dog. Release a breath. Plank. Transition. Move. Choose the appropriate layers that are continuing to serve your body welfare today. And that's on and off the mat. So yoga helps us to prepare ourselves for life on life terms off the mat as we stay true to ourselves. One more breath and downward dog. And then let's everybody move into split dog. Left leg begins to reach in a little bit, lifting the knee bends. We gaze forward. Step that left leg forward. High lunge. Just check in. Wiggle the fingers. Get the whole body skill back in place. And then release the breath. Now we'll flow through pyramid. So we'll stretch the left leg out again. We'll let the back right foot just turn a little bit of an angle. And then allow the right heel to come down to the mat as we keep bowing forward. Let's extend the arms forward just for one more breath. Throughout our energizing segment, we'll review the layers of mind. So come back, lift up the right heel, spin on the ball of the foot, return to your high lunge, receive the next breath, and then here we go. Half lift here. So as you release the breath, again, pyramid, heel spins down, both palms onto the left shin. Lift the torso. Release the shoulders. Remember now, for layers of mind, we're going to focus on choosing wisely the layers of words and thoughts. And then we're going to slowly begin to lift from here. So let's bring our arms to airplane. Scissor the inner thighs together to get yourself a little more stability there. And then we're going to open the front body again. Fingers might interlace. You might go into reverse ragdoll arms. Just allow that front body to open, as you did with low lunge and sun goddess arms. Beautiful. One more breath. And we'll all come back into the center. Slowly and surely release the hands and arms. Soften the left knee. Begin to bring the arms back down. Palms plant on the mat, framing that left foot. Pick up your right heel, spin on the ball of that foot. Step back, split dog to downward facing dog. Yeah. Downward dog. We'll repeat the sequence opposite side. Just to focus now. What thoughts, what words are you noticing that come into your practice here? And if the layers are serving you, keep them. If they're not, remove. Add something new. Here we go. Plank. Heels rise. You might wiggle the feet back. Body shifts forward. Lower the hips. 2 more breaths. Choose wisely. The layers of thoughts and words we're applying. And then downward facing dog. Yeah. Receive the next breath. Now we're going to lift that right leg to split dog. And we're going to bring that right leg forward to high lunge. And we're going to become aware of the sensations of high lunge. So we wiggle the fingers again. Yeah, that really changes our alignment and our connections when we give ourselves just a little bit of a challenge. Release the next breath, pyramid. Spin on the ball of the left foot. Bring the left heel down, so, a little bit of an angle to the front. And then start to stretch out your right leg. And start to let the torso just bow forward towards the right thigh. Head bows. Let's walk the hands forward. Extend the arms. One more breath. And then very gently start to transition back to your high lunge. Notice and what words are you now layering on these sensations. And as we release the next breath, just transition right into pyramid. And then half lift. So start lifting the torso. And then bring both palms onto your right shin. A gentle pressing into the shin so that the torso can stay lifted. The shoulders can stay relaxed. Receive the next breath. Release it and release the hands and arms. And then slowly reach the arms back to your airplane and begin to rise the body up, up. Stay strong in that lower body, just where it is. And open the front body. Fingers might interlace. Reverse ragdoll arms. One hand on opposite wrist. Hug those inner thighs towards each other. Get that stability. And release the breath. Slowly release the arms. This time we're going to go to upward salute. So we soften the right knee. Reach the arms forward. Spin on the ball of the left foot. Take a step forward with that left leg. Open those arms and let them rise up above you. Upward salute. Yeah. From this upward salute, we'll move into a little balancing practice. Receive the next breath. Engage the right leg, muscular, energizing. Soften the left knee, pick up the left foot. Find that drishti. Find that drishti. This is a great place to challenge the words that you are experiencing in your mind. And then release. Step back to high crescent lunge. High crescent. Full expression. Receive the next breath. Lift up the fingertips again. Release the breath. We're going to step that left leg forward and bring it up again. So the left leg steps forward and we pick up that left foot. The knee keeps rising. We release the breath. We step all the way back to high crescent lunge. Once again. Nicely, nicely done. Now we're going to open into warrior two. The left arm circles forward. The left heel spins down. You know this. It's just part of my job to remind you so you don't miss a step. And you open into your proud, strong, courageous warrior two. The reaching away from fingertip to fingertip. The grounding down through the soles of the feet. Do those audible words help your mental words to change your innermost practice? Strong, courageous, proud. Receive the next breath. Side angle. So you let the right side of your body start to move towards the top of your right thigh. Soften the right elbow. You can just breeze the forearm on the thigh. You can bring it down to the inside, outside of the leg. And then with breath and sensation and choosing the appropriate layers that are serving you here, body and mind, move a left hand and arm into your side angle today. Let's do one more breath. And from here, we're going to rise back up to center. Flow through your warrior two, please. And then reverse triangle. Stretch out the right leg. Softly bring the left arm down. Gently start to bring the right arm up or hand on hip or whatever serves you best. And notice the sensations of stretch through the right side of your body. Notice the strength through your lower body. Notice the movement that's available for you today. And then just check in with the layers, the thoughts, the words. You can always add or remove, it's your choice. And we'll come back up into that center. Yeah. We're going to slowly open back out through the warrior two. Gently begin to soften that right knee. Sweep the left arm down. We're going to go back to the upward salute. So begin to transition. Spin on the ball of the back foot. Take that step forward with the back foot and the arms rise up into your upward salute. One more breath here. And then we're going to practice that little sequence for the opposite side. Here we are. Upward salute. We release the breath. We muscular energize the left leg. We soften the right knee. As the right heel lifts up, the right foot pulls up. We're finding that drishti to stay strong in the steadiness of the mind, the strong and steadiness of the body. And then we're going to step back to high crescent. Start to bring that right leg behind you. Start to let the hips hinge. Step it all the way back. Let the hips sink you down and allow those arms to keep rising up. We'll repeat. So with breath, receive. Release the breath. Start to slowly step in with the right leg, picking up that right foot. It rises, it rises, it rises. Mentally go into positive, strong words. Physically stay aligned with breath connection. And step back. High crescent lunge. Move your body. Breathe into the sensations. And then focus on the layers that you're choosing to serve you for your bodily and your mind. And as we receive this next breath, we're going to slowly begin to transition to Warrior Two. Right arm reaches forward. It begins to circle down. Right heel spins down. Arms open out. Gaze out over your left arm. One more breath. Focus. And as you release the next breath, we'll begin to transition to side angle. The left side of our body starts to move towards the top of our left thigh. That'd be a good one. And we might bend the left elbow, breeze the forearm on the thigh. We might begin to bring that left arm down to the inside or outside of our left leg. And then we start to continue making the right choices, putting on the right layers to let that right arm continue to your side angle. Do one more breath to really focus and feel the fullness of your pose here. Nice. As we receive the breath, we'll begin to rise up together. So we're going to softly begin to lift the left side of the body away from the thigh. Body, torso returns to center. Arms open out, reverse triangle. Reverse triangle. So when the hips are square and the body is lifted, start to bring the right arm down. Let the left arm continue reaching up, 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 or hand on hip, or some other practice that's serving you well today. The body, the mind. One more. Yeah. And as we all release the next breath, we'll return back into our center. So wherever that left arm is, it comes to wingspan. Wherever that right arm is, it comes to wingspan. Turn the feet so they're parallel with each other. Receive a breath. Just lift the toes. Tuck the tailbone. Relax the shoulders. Release the next breath. Hip hinge. Wide straddle. Forward fold. As we did in the beginning with Dandasana, forward fold. You can let the hands slide down the outer edges of your legs. You can keep them in wingspan. But when everything about your movement and your breath and the movements in your mind are just right, release the arms down. Maybe they'll come to the middle of your feet on a block. Maybe they'll just hold on to the outer edges of your legs or ankles, wherever that serves you. Forward fold. We'll do one more nice deepened breath here. And then with the next gentle breath, half lift. So let's bring the palms onto the shins. Lift the torso. Release the shoulders. And then we'll move into a little wide straddle twist. Next releasing breath. Bring your fingertips back into the center of your feet on a block or just touching the mat. Receive the breath and let the right arm reach over to the right side. Follow the fingertips as that right arm begins to lift and let it rise where it wants to. Open where you can. Release the breath. Start to bring the right arm back down, torso back into the center. Receive the breath. Left arm and hand reach over to the left side. And the left arm begins to rise up. Let it lift up. Reach up. Open through the front body. Gaze up at the left fingertips. Release this breath. Release it down. And then flow, please. Just allow your body to flow into this nice twist from side to side. In the dressing room of your mind, decide which layers of word and thought best serve you today. And that's on your mat and off your mat. Complete this last sequence. Create a balanced practice, both sides done equally. And when you're back into that center, half lift, palms onto the shins, half lift, micro bend both knees just a little bit, but keep the inner thighs scissoring together for support because we're going to rise. So begin to let the arms reach out again. Begin to let the body lift up. Notice if the heels are a little bit turned in, the toes turned out now, and then let those arms rise up into your 5-pointed star. Open them up. Reach through the fingertips. Let your body, your innermost self, shine outwardly. Everything around you. One more breath. Releasing of the breath. Let's move into the sun goddess. So now the knees micro bend together. The elbows start to bend. Can you wiggle the toes just for another sensation, another inner connection? Draw the elbows back so the heart center and the front body stay open. Sun goddess. Interlace the fingers behind your head. Release the next breath and let your body just reach over towards the right side. So your right elbow is drawing the body down towards the right. The left elbow wants to keep lifting it up. Come back into center. Nice. Release the breath. Let your body reach over to the left side. Left elbow down. Right elbow stays lifted up. And you can gaze up at the opposite elbows. One more practice. Can you stay strong in that lower body as it is? Yeah. You're deciding, you're choosing, you're creating the layers that serve you through body, mind here. Wonderful. And we'll all come back into that beautiful center. Start to stretch out the legs. Start to open up the arms. Rise back up into your 5-pointed star. And then gently and slowly bring the hands onto the hips. Scissor walk or jump back so the feet are hip width apart. And then we'll turn to the top of the mat. Feet and legs hip width apart here. Slowly begin ragdoll forward fold. So let the opposite hands touch the elbows. Reach the elbows forward. Let the head be framed inside the arms. And then just allow the hips to hinge you forward. Just allow them to keep hinging, keep hinging, keep hinging. Just drawing towards the thighs and then release the elbows. Let them swing or sway. Let the head swing or sway. Or just be still into that ragdoll forward fold. Back into center, everybody. Nice. And then we'll let the fingertips come down to the mat outside the feet. And we'll step back to our tabletop. And as we begin to finish well here together today, we will review the layers of spirit. And we'll flow through the child's pose to the spinal waves. Breath is received. We notice our alignment. Breath is released. We begin to do downward wave and reach the hips back to child. We're just flowing, remember. Receive the breath. Bring your body back into center. Neutral tabletop and upward wave. Continue with this. Flowing through spinal wave, through child's pose. Layers of spirit. And remember when we just focused on this last week, the formal definition states that spirit is the non-physical part of a person containing character and emotion. And we'll just complete this last little sequence here. Yeah. When it is completed for you and you are into your neutral tabletop, we'll flow through this divine half monkey once again. So we hover the left knee. We bring that left foot forward. We receive the breath. Now this will be the full practice. So if you want, you walk the left leg forward to stretch it out with the toes up. And you keep your outer right hip and your outer right knee in alignment. That's one layer that you could choose to practice with if it serves you. The other one is to stay into your low lunge and start to allow the hips to reach back towards the right heel as your left leg stretches out and the toes lift up. So we're just going to flow with this divine half monkey. Keep breathing. So when we dress ourselves with the focus of layers of the spirit, we begin to recognize our character. And that's our strength and our weaknesses, our courage and our shyness. And then we begin to notice what the emotions that arise from the innermost self. That's all about acceptance, balance, connection with breath. And everybody complete this last little divine half monkey flow. There you go. We're all back into our low lunge. And then we're going to step that left leg all the way out to the left side of our mat. Once again, reach it out just like we did in the warming. We're finishing. Release the breath. Downward wave. Receive the breath. Upward wave. Becoming aware of your layers. You can always add or take anything off. Please remember, it's always your choice. When your practice is completed with a balance, return back into your tabletop. Our tabletop brings us into that extended spinal wave. The right knee hovers. The right leg reaches out to the right side. We receive the breath. What's our character here? What's that spirit layer here? Strength, weakness, courage, shyness, whatever it is. Let's continue. So we release the breath to the downward wave. We receive the breath to the upward wave. And we'll just flow again. How about one more? And when that is completed for you and you have made the right choice to bring your body back into your tabletop, or just flow and bring that right leg forward to your low lunge. Divine half monkey. Is it going to serve you best to walk that right leg forward so it stretches out, toes up, or release the breath and let the hips reach back towards the heel? Your choice. Here we go. But as you release the breath, you begin to move your body. Divine half monkey. How about the emotions here? Is this a practice of acceptance or balance? Can you stay connected with breath? Or do you find that you're noticing some frustration or anger? One more breath. Choose the right layer here that'll serve you into your higher self. And with that releasing breath, we'll release away from Divine Half Monkey. We'll come back into our low lunge. Yogi's choice. Bring yourself back into your tabletop. From your tabletop, we're going to bring our body into the seated pose. Transition. Tabletop to seated pose. And then we'll begin to bring our body into the supine pose of constructive rest. Again, yogi's choice. Legs can be in Dandasana, straight and lower down, or knees can be bent and lower your body down. Dressing in layers that continue to serve you. Your formal yoga practice invites many of these inner qualities to be addressed and just to focus, become aware of. So when you step off your mat into your daily activities, and maybe some of these can continue with you and help guide you through the day when you need a little extra inner support. When you're in constructive rest pose, knees are bent with that, they're hip width apart, feet are hip width apart. We'll just do a couple of pelvic tilts to neutralize our spine. Arms can be by sides, arms can be in sun goddess, palms can be on belly. When you receive the breath, all you're doing is noticing the gentle lower curve of your spine. It's just naturally lifted a little bit away from the mat. But now when you release the next breath, you're going to physically press that lower spine into your mat so it flattens down into the mat. And then receive. Relax and release your practice and just notice where the curve returns. And there you go again. Release. Press the lower spine into the mat. About one more. Just to help neutralize, stabilize your spine, preparing for your finishing well. When that last practice is completed for you, begin to prepare your body for a little bridge flow. So again, arms can remain by sides, or you can bend your elbows by your sides so that the forearms face each other and the palms face each other. Ensure the bodily alignment, that the back of the neck is free. And if you need just a little pillow or just a little bit of a support there, please have that. That's dressing in a layer that will serve you well. And then when we receive the breath, we're going to press into the soles of the feet and start to hover the hips. Just hover them up with the breath, and then when you release the breath, just slowly bring the hips back down. We'll do one more of those, please. A breath is received as you lift the hips. So you're beginning to lift your body up into this beautiful arched bridge, and you release as the spine slowly lowers down. Now we'll continue. We're going to include the arms and the body now with this flow. So we're going to rise a little higher. Mentally prepared? And what words did you choose for that? Just notice. Here we go. We're going to deepen into the breath body. Press into the soles of the feet. Hover the hips and continue to peel the spine away from the mat as the body arches upwards. And begin to let the arms lift up. Let's release a breath. Slowly release the arms overhead. Unless that doesn't serve you, then you just slowly start to bring them back down. And next receiving breath with strength, we're going to release that breath. Now the spine and the arms are going to flow down to our mat together. Spine releases down, hips and arms release down. Now we'll connect this into a flow, a little vinyasa. Receiving breath as you begin to lift the body away from the mat. The arms begin to lift up, up. Let's release the breath. Keep the body strong where it is as you release the arms overhead. Receive the breath. Arms begin to rise back up and release that breath as arms and body begin to flow down. Now you may need to make new choices. Just continue with the flow 2, 3 more times possibly. To make the new choices is to bring in the layers through your bodily welfare, the movements of the mind, the words you're choosing, and the character, the emotion, the spirit layer. Complete one more of these flowing little bridges, please. The lifting of arms and body, and the body stays strong as the breath releases, the arms release overhead, and then everybody together will come back home. Constructive rest, releasing of the breath. The spine, the arms, all begin to come down gently, all relaxing and releasing together. And when your spine and your arms are resting back down on your mat, receive a breath, and let's pick up both feet together or just let them rise and release that breath. Hug the thighs in towards the chest or hug the knees in towards the armpits. A gentle release through the hug. And then we'll roll from hip bone to hip bone to massage through the low back, the hip area. Dressing in layers on and off the mat this month. Bodily welfare. Words and the thoughts we choose for the mind. And we notice the character and emotion of spirit layer. When you are back into the center, please pause. And gently and slowly begin to elevate your legs together above you. With or without support, once again, always your choice. With the legs elevated, body begins into a deeper rest mode so we can transition to Shavasana for full benefits of bodily rest, ease of movements of mind, and breath will just breathe itself. One more receiving breath with legs elevated and release the breath. Now begin to release your legs together. Or stay with the elevated legs if that's serving you well. When the legs stretch out, perhaps one at a time to flow into Shavasana, we begin to let go of any resistance that we're noticing. This is a movement of the mind that we take this inner personal inventory of what's being held tight. And then we give permission for our physical body to soften, just to let go of that. And we might notice that there's an emotion of true acceptance. Shavasana. This month's theme, intentions, has been all about dressing in layers on and off the mat. How we recognized our layers, bodily welfare, words and thoughts in our mind, character and emotion with spirit. And then remembering you are always free to change and dress in the layers you choose. Gently draw your awareness to that place between your eyebrows. Expanding that awareness into your space. And the wiggling of toes, fingers, perhaps movement of ankles and wrists. Invite your next breath to awaken you, giving your body an awakening stretch. From our awakening stretch, we bend our knees, turning onto our right side. And gently rising into a seated pose. In our seated poses with Anjali Mudra, we receive a breath. Releasing of this breath as we gently bow forward, thanking ourselves for taking this time to reconnect and know everything we did was enough. And as we rise together, we close together today. Namaste. Namaste. Thank each of you today for your presence and your practice on your mat. Please unmute yourself and say goodbye, all your fellow yogis.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Don.
Thank
Have a
you.
good week, you guys. Thank you, Julie and Don. Yes, you too. Everybody have a good week.
Wonderful.
Have a great week.
Wonderful. Yeah, just dittoing. Enjoy your week. Hope to see you back on your mat next Monday. Brand new month. Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy.